Okay, so I'm going to give you another perspective to work from so you understand how everything is connected. So the coronavirus was just, or at least the pandemic issues was just released within the last couple days. Okay, but it was known back in December that there was a major issue that the Chinese government was trying to suppress, but it leaked out. And so there has been travel since December from China to all points on this earth. And so I'm looking back on when I had that specific virus attack that I definitely felt a major upset of homeostasis. And then me being in the hospital for 12 hours waiting for somebody's diagnosis. Okay, so it was December 21st. It was December 21st when I went to Outback Steakhouse to celebrate a friend's birthday. And from that point, I think it was a couple days after I was at the Outback Steakhouse that I triggered some kind of virus in the environment. I don't know what it was. I never got it tested. Caused me to be full of mucus for one day and coughing for one day, to where it was like I used several different washcloths because mucus was just pouring out of me and I was coughing up a storm. Okay, but it was for only one day. I had no headache, no congestion, no issues. But I knew that there was but I knew that I was exposed to some virus in that environment. Now, if I was a lesser person, if I had major predispositions, it could have been triggered. I could have had a heart attack that day, having that type of exposure to a virus. Because anytime you have too many antibodies in the blood that thickens up your blood, that causes someone to potentially have a heart attack as well as potentially die from a heart attack. Okay, but I have the jelly juice. I have a very strong body, strong immune system. So I fought off whatever that was, whatever virus that was. And I have no idea what it was. I never got it tested. Come a couple weeks later, somebody in my circle suffered a heart attack. Okay, and so that's why I was at the hospital for 12 hours, because we were waiting for a diagnosis. We didn't know if she would have to get stents put in or bypass surgery. It had to be a quadruple bypass surgery. Okay, and so I was exposed to all the viruses in that environment, and there wasn't any coronavirus anyone was talking about. Okay, and when you go to the hospital because you had a heart attack and you have predispositions, you have a family medical history, and you have a history of having stents put in your body, what would cause then the stents to not work? Well, when you're exposed to an aggressive virus, whatever it is, and they've downplayed the potentiality of having the coronavirus in your environment. When you are exposed to an aggressive virus in your environment and you have weaknesses, predispositions, start watching your friends and family. When people start triggering all of their different symptoms. I mean, it's kind of crazy that they don't have a vaccine right now for the coronavirus, but you're seeing crazy global, anxiety. So I am wondering if my friend was exposed to the same virus that I was exposed to, and she triggered a heart attack to where it completely created blockage. Because after 9 years of a stent, and she kept on her diet for the most part. Yeah, she smokes, but okay, the body gets used to that. But you got to think of what would cause that. And now I'm speculating. I don't know for sure, but you have to entertain all the different scenarios so you understand how everything works. Yes, there's a million factors that would contribute why a person would trigger a heart attack or a stroke or why they would die. But you cannot just discount viruses in the environment that create rapid antibody accumulation that would then cause a heart attack or a stroke, or someone potentially dying from a heart attack or a stroke. Look at all your friends and family that are in hospitals that are triggering cancer, disease, and chronic illness. Why is that? Because of an aggressive virus in the environment, or they've been exposed to flu viruses, or they have so many viruses within them that finally agglutinate because of predispositions and they're not bringing the right chemistry, things start triggering. So when you have so many factors, you're not going to pinpoint what exactly was the catalyst to then create that chain reaction of events. Now, the anti-vaxxers could say that, yes, my kid got a vaccine and then it triggered then all of these symptoms, but they had predispositions. If they would have met that virus in the environment naturally, it would have had the same thing, if not worse. So now you have to realize that viruses are the reasons why people will have all their issues, because they have weak bodies. So if you have a predisposition, you have some major messed up family medical history, you've been diagnosed by someone or something with some kind of disease or a chronic condition, a virus is only going to trigger more degradation. You really have to reverse your issues with the right chemistry. Because can you really afford to wait for the vaccine that may not come out for a year? So imagine how many people are going to be triggering heart attacks or dying from heart attacks or strokes or triggering autoimmunity or cancer. Because guess what cancer is? It's viruses on a weak body. Okay? When I just had somebody in my high school class die from pancreatic cancer, it's because all the different viruses that finally, systematically took him down, shut down his vital organs to where modern medicine couldn't do anything for him. They tried to do the chemotherapy. They tried to do the cutting off parts of their pancreas or the Whipple method or something. But it wasn't enough because he didn't have what it took to be able to withstand those procedures. So this is super serious, guys. And then you apply all of these remedies that are completely antibiotic. It's only going to make your predispositions that much worse, and it's going to deaden your body. And then you get exposed to another virus in the environment or whatever. You have no idea what's going to trigger in the future. And so that's what you have to realize. There's benign viruses that people have taken the bullet for you because they took the vaccine. And so they filtered it and softened the blow. So when they were shedding, you didn't get the actual aggressive version. You got a more watered down version, a diluted version. But imagine if you met the coronavirus in its natural environment. If you met the coronavirus in its natural environment and you have predispositions, you could trigger some major event that you could not survive from. So forget the vaccines for a minute. We don't have a vaccine for the coronavirus. So just imagine, that they're not going to develop a vaccine until they probably won't come out for another 3 months, and it won't be for mass consumption for a year. So you get exposed to the coronavirus in your environment, as well as some aggressive flu virus, and you have predispositions. Start watching your friends drop like flies from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, disease, chronic illness, aneurysms, you name it. When you have that many weak bodies out there that are not applying the right chemistry to their body, they are a sitting duck for whatever. And right now, you should be scared of the coronavirus. You should be scared because there is nothing right now that's going to dilute the potency of it. It's already here. I'm guessing, and I'm going to speculate that my friend probably got her heart attack, triggered it because of the fact that there was an aggressive virus in her environment, and it triggered her predisposition. When I was at the hospital for 12 hours waiting for her diagnosis, I was exposed to so many viruses in that environment. I felt my body go through a major shift after I slept a lot more this last month because I went to the hospital for 12 hours waiting for that diagnosis. My body's going through its own biochemical change because of the healing process, and I'm doing so amazing. I haven't even triggered my period yet. I'm so energetic. I'm so on point, and I have definitely substantiated my thought process, my belief system, whether it's politically or biologically. And so it's pretty crazy watching this whole scenario unfold. So this is bigger than you guys even can think of, because I've put out different thought processes about viruses and cancer and disease and vaccines and all of this stuff, right? And, you know, if you have a weak body and you're just starting the J juice and there is an aggressive virus in the environment, do J juice and the vaccine, because the vaccine is not going to hurt you. I mean, you already have minerals and you already have bacteria, you already have proteins. You need to be, you know, exposed to that virus in even the most weakest form. At some point, better to have it through a vaccine than through somebody who has major predispositions, strengthening and mutating that virus to make it worse on your child who has predispositions. Okay, but now you have to really see it for what it is. So I'm going to venture a guess that when people do trigger now heart attacks and strokes and cancer and disease, that this coronavirus and whatever aggressive virus in the environment isn't the one that's triggering it. But how are you really going to know? You're not. If there's no vaccine on the market, so what are you going to blame? The vaccine? It's not even on the market, so you can't blame a vaccine. Maybe this is actually planned. Okay, so that they created the patent in 2015. There's no vaccine yet, so it's not for mass consumption. So now you got to wait a year for the vaccine. So what are you going to blame all your predispositions on? When people start dropping like flies from the coronavirus, but it's not from the coronavirus, they're going to trigger their heart attacks, their cancer. They're going to start triggering all of their predispositions. And you're not going to know what it's from because you have so many issues in your body. Remember, correlation doesn't mean causation. Okay? So now you really should be fucking scared. You really should be fucking scared. Because viruses, regardless of what they are going to trigger your weaknesses. And some of you can't afford to have your weaknesses triggered. And you're playing this game of blaming Bill Gates, but the vaccine for the coronavirus hasn't even been put out yet. It hasn't even been developed. He just gave $9 million to a biotech company to try to develop something to quell the anxiety for the general population. Those of you on JJuice have insurance. You can afford to be anti-vax. You can afford to be anti-Bill Gates, anti-depopulation. But there are some that can't. And then what you're doing is you're ruining their ability to be able to protect themselves, at least on a superficial level, because you have an axe to grind because of your predispositions. So yesterday, yeah, I was a little flipping out yesterday because I see now the bigger picture. Now you anti-vaxxers can't blame the vaccine for why people are triggering heart attacks. Oh, you can blame all the other vaccines. But when you start seeing people dropping like flies, you're not put two and two together. There's an aggressive virus in the environment that no one has a vaccine for, and it hasn't been like mainstreamed as something horrible because they're downplaying the severity, but you're seeing the news out there saying, holy shit, we're stopping all the flights and the borders are being closed and we're putting everybody in quarantine. I mean, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put two and two to freaking together. So maybe now more than ever, you should get on the J-Juice. Now more than ever, instead of playing footsie with it because it's too difficult to heal. Okay, so crap. Because I'm thinking like, what would have caused my, you don't think about when people get heart attacks and strokes and they already have that in their family genetic history and they already have like stents put in their body, but why now? Why today do they trigger a heart attack where the stents don't work? Why? Oh, well, there's something aggressive in the environment because anytime you get a heart attack, it's because there's something that was exposed to your environment that was so super aggressive that it caused more antibody accumulation. Okay? Because when you have a relatively, set homeostasis, things should just be kind of working, but there is a systematic degradation. But you don't know what would then trigger the next level of degradation. It could have been that cigarette you smoked. It could have been that alcohol you took. Or it could have been that freaking virus that you knew nothing about that was never even mentioned because it never came out yet. And you'll never know. And if you ever die from a heart attack or stroke, natural causes are going to be on your death certificate. Not from she died from the coronavirus. No, it'll be natural causes. Remember, correlation doesn't mean causation. That's why it's very difficult to get money for the vaccine industry until you actually can prove that this vaccine caused someone's issues. And if there is an actual direct link, that's why they have a slush fund, because not everybody can be exposed to a virus or a vaccine because their body is that weak. So if your system tells you that you should have a baby you're pregnant, you should have a baby, and you're past the point of an abortion, and then you have a baby and they inject it, and maybe the baby would have miscarried in the next 12 hours, but they injected it prior to Mother Nature taking it, and the baby dies, that's where you can prove that correlation equals causation. But, you know, simply because you had a reaction to a virus or a reaction to a vaccine doesn't mean that it was the cause of a death like 10 months later. Though people will try to do that. Sorry, no, that's not how it works. So, yeah, this is some pretty trippy stuff. The fact that they don't have a vaccine for you to blame it on says a lot. It means that it's going to be a very stealthy virus. And people are going to drop like flies, and you won't know why. You'll just think, oh, it's their time. Oh, it's their time. They had it a predisposition. It was going to trigger at some point. Oh, they smoked a cigarette. Oh, they're overweight. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that. And in the background, there's this coronavirus just going in and being the angel of death. Seriously, this is insane, you guys. This is the year of the rat. Good luck to you all. This is insane. Tiffany, I know you're going to be fine. I know most of you that are doing the J juice are going to be fine, but those of you that are not, good luck. Because now it's every man for himself. I don't care what your belief system, I don't care what conspiracy you want to go and research, I don't care what activism you go uphold. You're going to have to figure out how Mother Nature thinks of you. Because Mother Nature is the judge, jury, and executioner. Remember, man-made law does not trump natural law. Natural law will always trump man-made law. Though man-made law might give you a stay of execution, will give you a due process, but ultimately, if you haven't earned it yet, it's not going to happen for you. And some of you haven't earned it. And yes, Mother Nature will let you know what she thinks of you. And it's going to suck. And I'm sorry to be the messenger. But somebody has to. Or you'll keep going down that road of destruction. You keep, rolling the dice. As if you have all the time in the world. And you really don't. It looks like Will Glenwright's going to be one of those that's going to meet Mother Nature in all her glory. Bye, Will Glenwright. Good luck to you. May the odds be in your favor, Will Glenwright. May the odds be in your favor. Oh, yeah. This is going to be very interesting. And people are going to flip the fuck out. And so you want to go and denigrate jelly juice? Well, you know what? Good luck in that. Good luck in your environment. Good luck. Can you afford to hate jelly juice? Or I guess it's easier to gamble. Some of you like to be big gamblers, but you know what? The odds aren't in your favor. You're playing the field. You're not playing the pass line for the point. And that's a craps analogy. Because I learned the better odds on the craps board is playing the pass line, not playing the field. And so many people are gambling with the worst odds. So good luck to you all. Bye.